Hello Internet, how you all doing? Welcome to the comment review of the RWBY Reviews Volume 5. Now some of you might be wondering, hey Ricardo, where's Ryan? And to answer that question, well, as you might have been keyed in on something, it is currently the Christmas season, and sadly, Ryan's busy like I am. No joke, the past 2 weeks have been utterly insane. I've been running all over the place trying to get things done, finally getting all the Christmas decorations up, and apart from all that, I've also had videos to edit. I mean, just look at how unshaven I am. I look disgusting.
You certainly do. But then again, you always look disgusting.
Thanks, man. And Ryan, too, is busy, likely doing some sort of weed stuff, which is likely to be 5 times funner than anything I'm doing right now. So it's up to just me and Lakana to review the comments you guys gave me for this Volume 5 of RWBY. Let's get into it. Starting with David Brown, who writes, "Welcome back, man. Keep up the good work. I can't wait for your next RWBY video." Thanks, man. And I'm not just putting this comment here simply to, stroke my own ego, but also to remind us all that indeed there are RWBY fans out there that do enjoy criticism of the show. Yeah, in case you might not have been noticing, the RWBY community has become kind of, if you use this word, but toxic. And they're extremely against any sort of criticism towards the show that they like. Like, for some reason they think that if you criticize the show, you're criticizing them. I don't get it either. So thanks to David Brown, and to all you watching this video, you're one of the few RWBY fans out there that does enjoy criticism of the show that they love. Because let's face it, there's no way we can keep moving forward without looking behind us to make sure that we are not repeating the mistakes that, well, got us to where we are now. The next comment comes from one of my favorite commenters, Fear the Cute One, who says, "Yay, the Cynical Critic is back with RWBY Volume 5. I was beginning to wonder if Lakana had finally killed you. Given that opening bit, I'm surprised that he didn't do just that." Oh, Lakana trying to kill me. Oh, as if that's not a daily action. But don't worry, I have some safeguards. First being that he doesn't know what the Wi-Fi password is, so he's definitely not going to kill me anytime soon. Unless he can leech off somebody else.
Considering how stupid he is, I thought it would have been password. Sad to say, it isn't.
But anyways, glad to see that you're back, Fear the Cute One. Hope you're doing well. The next comment comes from, and I hope I'm not butchering this, Magnus Benjimison, who says, at 3:51, Tumbles Why? Now for those who are not sure exactly what we're talking about, this was when I made a little animation of Zwei tumbling in the wind. Basically a callback to the chibi version of it. Just be thankful because that's the only time you're going to see Zwei in this volume. The next comment comes from Old Kaku DD, who says, "Last volume of RWBY was an improvement on 4 and 5. Here's hoping that we keep going in the right direction." I'm assuming you mean volume 6, to which I have to say, absolutely. An improvement in the plot is definitely a welcome sight, especially since we were basically 5 volumes in, and we hadn't gotten an ounce of it. With that said, basically everything else went downhill during the last few episodes, which is kind of funny because it quickly became the new volume 5. As in everyone said that it sucked. Don't worry, I'll have words to say on that, but back to Fear the Cute One, who says, "But Pyrrha cares about..." Oh wait, now I'm sad again. "As for watching all the seasons before a new one, that watching people watch the series countless times count, God, I have a problem." Yes, you do, both with your grammar and watching the series countless times. I mean, my God! How much free time do you have? I would kill to have just an ounce of that free time. Ah, well, who cares about sleep, am I right?
One of the reasons why I'm glad I am trapped in a ceramic skull. No need to eat, no need to sleep, no need to take a shit, unless I want to. But all the time in the world for my shows, for my waifus, and for my, off-brand.
I think the proper word for that is illegal. Anyways, moving on to X Fatal Attack X, who says, "Poor Ricardo got no views because YouTube blocked him." Shaking my head. Not as much as me, man. I mean, seriously, as we saw with basically YouTube Rewind, both 2018 and 2019, YouTube has no idea what people want, nor how to treat its real creator. Oh sure, it knows how to treat those very well who are the pandering type. You know the ones that you just look at and say, my God, are you such a first world child? Have you ever even seen someone who's even middle class? That, or you look at them and you question, are you human, robot, or alien? I'm just asking because, you know, I don't want to misrace you. But yeah, it's kind of funny that YouTube has channels out there that not only post full-blown scenes of popular movies and shows, hell, they even they even take trailers, the full-blown trailers that are released for the show, and take them and show it on their channel and get monetized for it, and don't get a single copyright strike against them. And then, yeah, you got channels like me who barely have 150 subscribers, and maybe even a tenth of those viewing my videos on a regular basis, and yet I get blocked simply because I'm reviewing a show. I mean, it's kind of clear that if you were to use any sort of algorithm, that clearly I'm not just grabbing the show and posting it. I'm not a reactor. I'm a reviewer. I chop this thing up like nobody. I basically go all jigsaw on this bitch. I torture it, and yes, I use jigsaw properly. I torture it, and yet I get copyright blocked. I'm not even able to make money on YouTube. I don't even want to make money on YouTube. And yet, not only do I get a copyright strike, I cannot fight it whatsoever. All I can do is basically say, hey, listen, can you at least just let my video be shown? And they're like, okay, fine, but you can't make any money off it. Any money you make is going to go to, you know, whoever holds the copyright claim. I mean, technically, I'm not even sure if this is Rooster Teeth. This just says Rooster Teeth LLC. Technically, it's supposed to be Rooster Teeth Productions LLC. So this could be just some guy in Zimbabwe, but don't worry, we'll make our money. Yeah, sure, I hope you enjoy that 1 penny. While my videos get blocked after, you know, working weeks on them. Speaking of which, back to Fear the Cute One, who says, a few days ago, oh, Ricardo released Volume 5, Episode 2! Click! This video cannot be played due to copyright claim. Takes a deep breath in. Also, since you mentioned everything I thought of to say in your review, I'll just go with, you know what they says about evil Cortana? This could be scary. So basically, her canon Cortana. Because even though I haven't played anything after Halo 4, as far as I know, Cortana turned evil. So, basically she's just a digital sailor. I would play that game, Bungie! But yeah, thanks, Fear the Cute One. It's nice to know that some people still look forward to my videos, even though they get blocked a lot of times. Heck, I can post this probably 4 years in advance, and I still would have to wait 8 years to get it unblocked. YouTube system worse than our political climate right now. That says a lot. But yeah, Salem is scary. How much as scary is this one?
You better not be saying anything bad against my Salem senpai. She and I, we're going to rule this world.
Moving on to Fear the Cute One again, who says, I would leave a comment, but I'm afraid Lakanen is currently beating me within an inch of my life because of my con bit in the last episode. I'm sorry, Master Lakanen! I promise I won't do it again! Maybe.
Fear not, one who is cute. While you must suffer for the actions that you have taken, I do them not in anger, but in love. Love that you may learn from your mistake and not become like Ricardo, become better than him. Oh, Fear the Cute One, I forgive you. Go forth and continue to share your cuteness with the world.
As for me, I'll continue to wake up with him staring at me.
I keep telling you, soon. Soon.
Yes, but now it's gone past creepy and it's starting to get a little weird. I feel like you're checking me out while I sleep.
Well, you do have a pretty mouth.
Moving on to again! Fear the Cute One. Man, you have a lot of great comments. Who said, the semblance discussion scene reminded me of those puberty videos that they show in school. Crazy Thursday! I like the gang fight, though every time I see it, I do think, this feels slow. So you have a point. Though he knew personality, I think shows she is still dealing with the loss and associated PTSD, but is pushing herself forward for the sake of RWBY.
Never underestimate the power of love between a mother and her daughter.
But yeah, that discussion of the semblances did feel a lot like we were back in school. Half the class is giggling their ass off while the other half are on their phones. The next comment comes once again from Fear the Cute One. Guys, you really need to get into the game. I can't review your comments if you don't post them. Well, to be honest, that may be on a purpose. Anyway, he is so driven by revenge against Blake that he's purposely terrible, so even in victory, Blake's achievements are worth nothing. Okay, I'm assuming that's a joke, which just goes to show that even a joke would have been better than what Miles and Carrie gave us. I still can't believe that there are people out there that actually defend those two idiots to a fault. They're getting paid for something that they should know what they're doing with, and yet people who are just fans are able to come up with better ideas. There's a problem here. But don't worry, we'll get to that later. Let's go from Fear the Cute One to Fear the Cute One again. Empties a bucket of clear liquid. Oh, what's this? It's just my tears from the ending of that episode with RWBY, Yang, and Weiss. The Uncle Ravo would know how it is. To be honest, I think there might have been a typo there because I have no idea who you're talking about with the Uncle Ravo. But I have to admit, yes, that episode, you're not human if you didn't cry at the end of that episode. Which, is not a problem. I'm not judging, I'm for, robotic rights. You guys are going to be ruling the world anyway, so, more power to you.
Oh, please, those calculators can barely divide by 0.
Anyways, moving on to someone who isn't Fear the Cute One. Don't worry, I'm pretty sure you'll be back. To Animaniacs0451, who says, you also should note that Raven's headdress and her belt are decorated with black feathers. Also, as for Crow, when he walks with a bird-like gait. Good point, which again goes to show that what Osmond did to those two was more than just giving them the ability to turn into birds, as it seemed to affect them in a significant way. As for Crow, well, let's just keep in mind that half the time he's drunk as piss. The other half of the time he's drunk off his ass, so, it's just what Crow is. Moving on to David Brown, hello again, who says, at 114, best recap ever! For those wondering, that was when I was having facial problems. And no, not that kind of facial problems, you perv. But anyways, Lacana had to do the recap for me.
And soon, I will do an entire episode, and not long after, I will claim your channel as my own. And after your channel, YouTube. And after YouTube, Google. And after Google, the Internet. And after the Internet, I'll probably stop because I've seen what you people have done with the world, and I want no part of it.
Oh, come on. Climate change is not that bad.
You okay?
Yeah, it just got a little chilly in here. I'll be fine. Woo! Man, that heat is... it hits ya. Anyways, moving on to Cody Ross. Hello again, good friend. Glad to see that you're back. Who says, Blake, look, I have a developing story and great writing and 2 side characters who are shown to be extremely close to me and are willing to stand by me, as well as one of the best potential personal villains. Yang, I have issues that were behind my previous personality, and I need others to help me. Rooster Teeth and Bumblebee shippers? Yeah, let's throw that away. We demand lesbians over writing. Hell yeah! Come on, that's never failed in Hollywood. I mean, you could have some pretty interesting characters who just so happen to be lesbian. Who wants that? Now again, not hating on the shippers or anything, but we're 5 volumes in. And Red and Nora, who have barely any screen time, have a more believable relationship than Blake and Yang, okay? Besides, it's just a ship. It doesn't need to be and probably shouldn't be canon. Why? Because it's not your story. Let Blake and Yang develop their own way, and if they end up together, hooray. If they don't, it doesn't matter. Write your own story about how they end up together. Take your time with it. Who knows? It may turn out beautiful. But yeah, it's kind of funny that Blake and Yang both got amazing scenes with them growing as characters. And all those people can think of is just, are they gonna kiss? Okay, again, disclaimer, not all shippers, but you get my point. Just enjoy the show, okay? Anyways, Cody Ross is still not done as he continues with another comment saying, finally, not a, this is utter garbage and the fans are utter garbage for this episode. This episode sucked because they babied us and the power of friendship style battle wins. I mean, the brothers were little more than villains of the week. And I mean, they didn't even have the presence of a demigod or activists or zealots. And that dragged everyone down. Separately, at least Blake got some character development. Unlike the other girls, who we have to wait for. You naive child. Thinking that they're gonna get character development. No. It's much better if we please some of the shippers. They're clearly the demographic that's gonna keep us funded. What do you say? Oh, we can't pay our animators? Oh my. Who could have seen that coming? Okay, jokes aside, it is basically the norm now that Rooster Teeth doesn't know how to do villains. For some reason. It literally falls on their voice actors, which is kind of funny, as that basically goes for every single character in their development. It falls on the voice actors to bring across all that imposing character. Whatever. That's not the only problem they have, as David Brown clearly points out, saying, either these guys are teleporting, because in almost every wide shot, the whole room is empty, or Rooster Teeth screwed up with a fight. To its DiemTech continues on saying, lots of great matchup fights that we hardly got to see. I agree. This is one of the reasons why I say that Volume 4 and Volume 5 should have been Volume 4, 5, and 6. As I say, they should have been combined and then stretched out into 3 volumes. Because then we would have had more time to develop things. And Volume 6, or aka the half of Volume 5, basically half of that would have been solely devoted to the ending, the battle, the epic fight for Haven. Instead, we basically got this. But yeah, they basically didn't focus on any of the fights. I mean, the only 2 fights that had any kind of semblance of coverage were Wyson versus Vernal and Jean versus Cinder. Both were, well, like Jean. Terrible. Rooster Teeth, we have a bunch of money to blow on shows that people don't really like, and definitely a bunch of money to blow on voice actors that we really don't need. But hey, who really wants to look for a good animator who can give us some great fights? Like, you know, what's his face? We forgot about him, didn't we? Anyways, the last comment comes from Fear the Cute One, told you they'd be back, who said, Raven v Cinder was so good in many ways. My only thing I would want different is that I wished it lasted longer. Basically what I said. Listen, I understand that when it comes to some fights, you want to build to them, you know, build up the tension, get us pumped for it. But then when you get to there, you have to deliver. And well, you did deliver. It was a good fight. Let's just face it. We all looked at it and said, you know what, could we just, you know, take everything that had to deal with Blake and Adam and just... and then take the remaining screen time and give it to this fight? Because yeah, that's kind of what we needed. An epic, long-lasting fight that would have ended the season on a good note. Especially since basically it wasn't the last episode and the next episode was going to be boring as piss. But speaking about boring, that concludes the comment review for Volume 5. But we're not done yet, because like last comment review, I do have a bonus section that I want to get to. Now last time it was on the comments to my first impressions video for Volume 6. Basically Volume 6 has just been released in its entirety. I decided to go watch it and then give my general first impressions of it. And well, people commented and they made some very good comments and I wanted to share my thoughts on those comments. Well, I didn't exactly have a first impression video because Volume 7 is still not done, but I did make another video that surprisingly got more comments and got more attention than I thought. That of course being my What Could Have Been video, Adam's Betrayal, which I have to admit, being honest here, I really didn't put that much effort in. Now, I'm not trying to be humble here or, you know, throw off blame because it was terrible. I'm just being honest. You see, I was a little caught up on some of my videos, so I thought, you know what, I have some extra time. I wanted to make this video. Looks like I can make this video. Why not try? But as I was compiling everything together, I basically realized that I didn't have as much time as I thought. But since I was basically already getting started with it, I thought, you know what? I'll just one-shot it. Which is to say, I basically did what you all do when it comes to your essays for school. You say that you did second and third drafts, and then you proofreaded, and then you went to other people and asked them what they thought, and then you looked over it again, and you edited and edited and edited. Yeah, you did none of that. You did one draft, and that was it. Basically, that was me with this video. I did everything in one shot. I only took one time to write all the script. I only took one time to draw all the pictures. I only took one time to edit the video. I may have spent a little extra time making sure everything was neat and tidy when it came down to the final edit. That was it. It was just a fun little video that I kind of wanted to make. In fact, it was the kind of video that I've been wanting to make. It was basically the reason I actually created this channel for. To make just these little videos that were of other people's story, not just my own, but other people's stories who couldn't really make any animation. And I thought, you know what, I draw a quick little animation, I record a quick little shot of their story, and let them have their moment in the light. Let's first go over some of the comments because, Kent, I had no idea to get this popular. See, I had uploaded the video and expected to get maybe like 10, 15 views on it, okay? I knew people weren't exactly looking for this kind of video, and, well, for the most part, they didn't like anybody who criticized RWBY, so yeah. And lo and behold, I checked a couple days later, and oh my gosh, I got about like 1,200 views on it. It's not a lot of views, especially considering about how everyone else on YouTube basically gets like hundreds of millions of views for a stupid reaction video in which they just do this. That was cool. Fully confirmed. But yeah, that was a lot. And considering the fact that my regular reviews barely clock out at around like maybe 50 to 80 views, thanks YouTube for basically not only blocking my videos, but blocking them from being seen by everyone else. It's just in the YouTube algorithm. If your video is copyright claimed, they don't promote it. But anyways, it was a pleasant experience to find out that people actually did like it. Not only that, that we were basically all in agreement that we wanted more from that episode. We're sad that Miles and Carrie, well, they didn't give us that. But anyways, on to the comments. The first one comes from Sub Dolomar, who said, "Much better. Also, I love how Adam didn't consider Blake as an obstacle, but a mere nuisance that isn't important to him." Yuki Turmeric replies, "I don't know. To me, it sounded more like he was disappointed in her. Like he feels that she gave up on her people." Polish Ranger in turn replies, "Which is perfect. Less weird and creepy ex-boyfriend, more disappointed mentor." And I agree to both. Whether it be that Adam saw her as, you know, not even worth my time. Fine, you don't want to fight for your people? I don't care. I will fight for our people. Or, you know, you had so much going for you, Blake. You were one of our founders. What happened to you? Either one would have been much better than, you know, I'm going to destroy the world. Boss, don't we live in the world? I'm going to destroy the world. Anyways, again, it goes to show that people who probably have no experience in writing a story somehow came up with better ideas than Miles and Carrie, who get paid by Rooster Teeth to write a story. Anyways, this basically continues with Anime is Art, who says, "Now you have to come up with a better plan than Volume 5. When I first saw Adam with the bombs and the fact that Salem controls Leo, my first thought was that this is a mountain. If they plant bombs on all the support beams holding up the city in Haven, the city will collapse on it itself. Instead, they put fluffing 20 bombs on a tower that doesn't work." I kind of agree, and yet I kind of don't agree. Let's start with, of course, the end of that. First of all, yes, the tower doesn't work, but it's still very important, as it does work in the local area, just not, you know, globally. The second is that Salem didn't want to collapse the city. She still needed to get into the Maiden's Chamber, and best not to destroy that in case, you know, something they left behind. I don't know, there's something secret. Husband has got a lot of secrets, okay? God knows what he's hiding in there.
I've seen what he's hiding in there. Amateur stuff.
Considering what off-brand you call amateur, I really don't want to know what you call pro.
I would tell you, but FBI Chan asked me not to. She knows how to get to me.
Anyways, the second problem is you can't really blow up a mountain. Your idea, and more to do with how they kind of showed what Haven looked like. Basically, in the opening shot of Mistral, they kind of showed this like weird small mountain with a bunch of buildings on top of it. Hell, Haven basically took up half the space. So it was kind of weird. It looked very small. But when we actually saw Haven, it was a lot of level ground. It looked like it was more built on like the side of a more flat hill than it was on this giant pointy mountain. And basically, much of the rest of the city kind of looked like that. Yeah, there were some sharp hills here and there, but nothing to represent what we originally saw. Which again goes to show that continuity isn't exactly something that Miles and Carrie care about. But speaking about terrible writers, Vlad117 says, "You took your throne. They gave me mine." Top tier writing right there. I'm assuming you're making fun of me, good sir, and I have to admit, you got a point. Not joking, when I finished recording that line, I didn't like it, but again, I really didn't have any time to change anything, and I needed to just go with what I had, and so I went with what I had. This was basically entirely a first draft. True. Much more time, might have came up with something better. But considering that it's basically 10 o'clock at night, and I still have to edit, likely, this hour-long recording, let's get to the final comment for this comment review. It's come from Yuki Terminator, who says, "Damn, this is what I always perceived Adam to be. A man with a cause, a man who believed the ends justified the means. My fluffin' gosh, you gave me what those hacks at RT never could. An actual gosh darn character with motivations and thoughts. This is what I knew Adam should be. A man with a cause and willingness to do whatever it takes to get the job done. He very much reminds me of Arthad Menethil from World of Warcraft. He too fell to darkness as he tried desperately to save his people. He too fell because he forsaked himself for his people. Adam always looked like the man who was willing to bear any burden for his people." I completely agree, and that was what Rooster Teeth gave us back in Volume 3. If any of you remember, Adam basically said, "Cinder, you know what? No thanks. I have my own problems, and I'm trying to save my people here, okay? We have a purpose to fight for." And the only reason he joined with her basically was because she said, "I'll kill all your people then." And later it seemed because, they got a lot of power. If they give us some of that power, then most certainly we can win this war. And mainly it was because he was supposed to be Blake. Just with different drive. They were supposed to be two leaders that were basically the same, just with opposite ways of doing it. With Adam, it was the easier and much more pleasurable way of getting back at the people who hurt you. Hate, anger, spite, revenge. Those are all very pleasing. As we know, more often than not, it doesn't heal anything. In fact, you get what you deserve. You eventually destroy what you were fighting for and become the very thing you hated. But with Blake, it was a much harder thing. Forgiveness. Forgiving those that didn't deserve it. Mercy, kindness. Those are traits that are not, innate in someone who is being oppressed, who is being hated. But it would be a better way. As indeed, the best way to get rid of an enemy is to become friends with them. Sounds a little counterintuitive, and indeed, sometimes you can't become friends with enemies, as that's what we would eventually find out. Is that, unlike with Ilya, Adam wouldn't be able to change. He wouldn't be able to let go of that hate. And, Blake wouldn't have to make that extremely hard decision to end her old friend. But instead, we got Senior Edgelord. Isn't that what you want? I mean, come on. He's easy to hate. Even easier to write for. Definitely the better choice. Either way, that was just some of the comments for the video. The rest of them were basically the same thing. This is definitely how it should have turned. I like this a lot more. Great job. To be honest, it's just one of the many ideas that I've seen out there. It would have been a whole lot better, not just for the show RWBY, but for the fans. Because let's face it, who suffers the most? It isn't Rooster Teeth. They just, RWBY's not doing so well. Bye, RWBY! Oh, too bad, Monty. I'm sorry. I know you're rolling around in your grave. But, never liked you to begin with. Guess we'll move on to the next idea to butcher. No, it's the fans. It's us who love the show. It's us who felt a part of the show because we were basically introduced to all these characters behind the scenes. We were basically brought into the creative process. We felt part of it. Heck, they had a contest to decide how the bunny waifu, the basically poster girl of the show, was going to be dressed. I mean, come on. We were basically, this was basically our family. And you ruined it, Rooster Teeth. Glad you sold out. Because you sold us out. Anyways, I'm sure none of my fans are going to turn on me. Thank you all for watching. Most importantly, thank you for commenting. And most importantly, I can't stress this enough, thank you for watching RWBY Critics. Yes, some of us out there are basically just bashing the show. But let's face it, some of their points may have salt to them. It's good to just pick up those few granules of salt and look at them and say, you know what? Yeah, they have a good point there. Then just simply say, you know what? I hate anybody who criticizes this show because the show is perfect. No one grows when they tell you, don't worry, Jimmy. Your horrible writing, the fact that you can't count to 2, doesn't matter. You're awesome in yourself. It doesn't help anybody. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for commenting. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a Merry Christmas. I'm going to try to get this edited in time. Basically, you're not going to be able to sleep. Oh well. Good fun, guys. I'll catch you next time for Volume 6. Toodles!